Can you guys all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Oh, Shaker here.
Is he?
Sorry.
No, not yet.
No? All right. So again, very broadly, we can see that spinal time high, score 54. We obviously know the next thing is going to be that retest where it should be met or resistance. So we're just kind of in this new trading range. For now, the shorter pivots is versus 425 or 420, but it's perfect because we want those pivots to hold. Typically, that's not the case. We get the shape and push a little lower. But for now, I'm kind of keeping an eye on this range of 415 S5 versus 454. And really, you could easily come down to 400 and still be completely fine. Couple sectors. We have staples that are near, kind of major support up here. Again, if you're still buying, these ETFs weekly versus using a set like M1, buying them through 181 could be a bit tight little support buyback. And again, the small mid cap still flagging, consolidating nicely. We really don't want to rush into these just yet because again, these can take a long time to develop and really big buys through this 235. But there's some other spots that we can look to get in, above 228, versus these pivots down here. Going on to a couple names and keep an eye on. Last week we got ZNP up to 112. Little shake up down Friday. I know it did take a couple of guys out. For now, the guys that are still in, you can get a little bit more room versus from this 104, and I'll still be looking to add up to this 112 in time. And a couple of them radar is RHI, earnings flag, blue sky breakout up to this 105. Still a little wide, even if we do the versus 100, it's still, maybe might be a little too tight, but one to kind of keep on the radar as the 200 kind of continues to catch up. FRT, another one, blue sky breakout through this kind of 121, 122 area. We have, what else? Warby, again, it's probably the first time I ever put a 15-minute chart on the big picture, but recent IPO is very top of the lane, and we do see two little spots. We can see a field entry up to 54, and then we can see through the IPO high up to 55. And again, so I'm very tight risk. If we can buy a recent IPO and a pretty popular name on a couple of dollars, might be a little more worth giving a shot than wider entering like the name of Roblox or another name. Last two is Roku. Get back to the daily chart. Just been holding up here near this support area, and there's could be a tight little entry up through this 320 versus 300, but again, more of a shot. Nothing too crazy because this bigger pattern is obviously up to this 480. And lastly, another little bit more of a crazier name, which is SFIX. I was keeping an eye up to this 45 back in August and kind of fell off my radar, and recently had an alert pop up, and it's kind of still setting up to this 45 in time. But again, 45 versus 40 is still about 10% risk, so not looking to get into it anytime soon, but just still keeping it on the radar. So those were a few names I'm keeping on this week. And Shake, if you want to, Evan, if you want to take over.
Yeah, sure.
You're up.
Yeah, I saw that WRBY on the big pick, and I was like, something's wrong. I think Ben got kidnapped if he's posting a 15-minute chart.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks good.
It was amazing.
I like it. Yeah, so I mean, overall, like I mentioned yesterday in the chat, I'm not too eager to put on risk. I don't think this volatility is just going to disappear out of nowhere after last week. So I'm more in a wait and see mode, but I definitely have a couple things that I'm watching. One of them being APPS, Digital Turbine Inc. Yes, yeah, not a 15-minute. There we go. So it had like a huge descending resistance channel that actually broke on September 22nd, that big green bar. There you go. And then it came down last week and kind of pulled back into that resistance area, and it's forming a little support there right by the 20 MA. So I'm keeping an eye on this one, maybe possibly starting to build a little position in it for the eventual move through that pivot high around 76.60. What else am I looking at? I have one that a lot of people have on watch as well, is this DLocal Limited, DLO. So previous resistance was that 57 level. It came down just under that 57 on Friday, put in a doji. So I want to see that kind of act as the support line and buy on the way up. Again, building a position for the eventual move through that all-time high 72 area. And then another one that I thought was just way too obvious was this Tesla 800. And of course, over the weekend, they dropped Q3, or they dropped Model 3 sales, which were through the roof. And now it's gapping up to like that 800 level. So they're making it very tough to buy. So I'm watching that one, want to see where it kind of pivots and maybe grab some through 800, depending on market action today and this week. And then another one that I have is this MongoDB, MDB. Earnings gap up held, which is super, super bullish. I really love these trades. On a weekly chart, it's like a clear bull flag. That looks really, really nice. Probably needs a little bit more time, but maybe looking to build a position through that 479 area, just like a low cheat level. And then for that eventual move to that 520 area later on. And yeah, so I'm looking at. I got a couple other ones, but I'm not too eager to put any risk on right now.
Mark, what are you looking at this week?
Hey, there he is.
Oh, what's up? What's up? How we doing?
Good, good, good.
Jake, we're just going through some top ideas. We'll let Mark go, and then if you want to go after.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's going to talk, Shake.
What's up?
Okay, well, so some of my ideas, yeah, pretty the same as Heaven said. I am not very eager to put some risk on until wait for how the market is starting the week. But one of the names I'm watching, a change of character, and it's not mentioned already in the chat, is this Uber. That Uber. Yeah, so definitely watching this name on the 4750s, on that break of that previous pivot. I like the monthly very much on this chart, and definitely I see change of character into this one. I don't know how did you see that one, guys, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see that. That's interesting. The weekly chart is cool. Nice,
Yeah.
nice volume last week, and
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah, another one that I've been watching is SHC, Sotera Health.
I'm sorry, you said SHZ?
SHC,
Got it.
yeah, that one. Also like the kind of consolidation, it's making a nice base, and above 26.50, it looks like it's going to break. And yeah, it's definitely making a nice weekly consolidation. Also it's another name that it's not mentioned also in the chart. I don't know how did you see this one?
Okay, so I always love these like through the IPO high, especially when they can base out for like a year longer.
Yeah.
Like through this 29 in time should be like as much of an A+ trade as possible. And of course, I think, of course, the SPY looking at as well.
Yeah. Also another name, it's KBR.
All right, I got it pulled up here.
Yeah, KBR about 40, 50. It also makes sense. And yeah, pretty, and other names I really enjoy the names you put on the big picture, and so, and Shake watch list also, it's very good. So that fees, it's obviously very nice. But yeah, these are the names I've been watching, and I will keep posting also in the chat.
Cool. Jake, you want to jump in?
Yeah, let me get my 1 sec here. Oh, I can't share my screen.
I can do it. Let me hold on 1 second. Stop sharing. I used to be able to share now.
Dusty camera over there, Shake.
I have to use the laptop for this garbage. Yeah, this laptop's seen some things. What's up, Bill?
I know.
What's up, Mo? What are you doing over there? You just fucking giggling at me? That's it? That's how we start on Monday?
That's how we start. You calling this shit trash?
What?
You're not a big fan of Zoom? You're a Teams guy?
Oh, no, I didn't say it's trash.
I thought you were talking about the,
His laptop.
Nah, he said his
Oh,
computer was. Yeah, the
Oh,
laptop.
the
was
laptop.
trash.
Yeah.
We love Zoom.
Laptop's trash. Yeah, Zoom's good. Zoom's good.
yeah.
Chart
What
looks
are you
like
doing over there?
garbage.
You got on the screen or no?
You should be able to share your screen now. Just hit it.
Nope.
Doesn't let you?
All right, just type in a few names for me.
All right, 1 second.
I mean, I already posted these, my favorites. I think that Fizz that I made trade of the week is a really, really nice chart. I love the big buying in the last 3 weeks heading into this macro level. Huge short float. I feel like if this gets to that 54, 50, 55 area, it just absolutely explodes. You know, if you're short this name, where are you going to put a stop? You know, that makes sense. Maybe there's 55, 56, 57, maybe that 58 little pivot. But if it's able to get through those areas, I think it has an extreme pop. What else? I bought that MIME, M-I-M-E Friday. I think that looks really good. I think you can still buy that one through Friday's highs, 65.50. I really like this. We've been watching this DLO forever. I don't know what was said here because I'm coming in late, but you know, it just perfectly filled that gap that we were waiting forever for it to fill. Now, you know, through Friday's highs, 56.50, just a really nice spot to get involved. Those are definitely my 3 favorites heading into the day. You know, I think we would need a market turnaround, but I like this AMD. This would need the market's help though, I think, to rally. But I just think it's been in this little, like, you know, digestive phase the last, 3 months since the earnings. And it just looks like, you know, the buyers are stepping up a little bit, the pivot's a little higher. So I'm definitely interested in taking this one long. Friday's highs, 103 area. And this gap down is actually really nice. You know, it gives us time off the open to see what's strong, see where the relative strength is, see if the market even wants to hold this rally. If they just pull the rug and we take out Friday's lows, you know, that's not that bad for us because, I mean, I only bought one thing, but it's not like we positioned ourselves super heavily long. So now we have opportunity today. If we do want to pivot and do want to, you know, show that relative strength and the buyers come back from Friday. So I think there's a really nice setup to walk into the day. So those 3, what I say, MIME, Fizz, DLO. I like this STX. Just a really nice pivot right on that 200-day moving average, right at the bottom of that support line. You know, very simple trade here. You buy through 85, you have stop below 81. You know, and then it could be a great positioning if it wants to take out this macro wedge to the upside. But just a really nice candle Friday. I mean, those are my top ideas. Oh, and then this Affirm. I think we got to keep an eye on Affirm today.
Yeah.
We probably mentioned this one. Just the 2 inside days. The hourly looks really nice. You know, again, very simple setup here. We get an intraday setup through 120. It'd be great. That'd be really nice. But I would probably take this one as a quicker trade as well. And then
that one's tough.
that was pretty tight. Those last 2 days, those 2 inside days are nice and tight. And then lastly is this S, not Sprint. You know, if you zoom out, you look and it's the exact IPO high where it began to pivot. So you know, it came in about what, 30% from highs to pull in. So we know it has buyer's strength behind it when it wants to go. It's just been selling lately in this market weakness. Now it looks like it might be ready to finally turn around. So definitely watching 56 in that one. I like this one a lot. I think it's a really nice spot. Same with that DLO, very similar setups.
I like it. All right, so I want to pass over to Drew. You have anything you're looking at?
The only I I mean, for this morning, I'm really liking the same one Shake has, AMD, AFRM, and DLO in particular. But I'm also really liking that support buy potentially on Apple.
Yeah,
It's got that nice hammer candle at the bottom there, and I have a lot of trouble resisting those. So through 143.
yeah, I feel like, if the market rallies, that Apple rallies, if the market fails, that Apple fails, like that simple kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So if you're a believer in this market, then Apple long.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, I'm still a little iffy. I think if we had a really strong rally this morning and just kind of kept rallying, then obviously that'll possibly dictate the week, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
I mean,
again, like, if we take out lows again, like I'm risk off.
yeah, no, and that's the nice part about this gap down is that, if they just pull the rug, we don't have to be involved. And even though we're gapping down a little bit in the morning, the SPY rally from 427 to 435 in the last like 2 hours Friday. So, I mean,
Take the roll from Let's see, Mo, you looking at anything?
So I still have that AMD. I know we talked about it last Monday, and Shakes talked about it. Looking at Bros hourly, you could see kind of flagging where through 47 you could take it if it gets some volume. Tesla through 800, it kind of was pretty strong last week with market sell-off. It really held up. That's on the radar. And I've been watching Roku just as a support buy. You can see it here holding above 300, but it really needs to get above that like 320 level. But that would be like a longer term trade. It's just one of those names where it's gotten beaten up. But if we do see like QQQ rally, SPY rally, you can see some volume come back into Roku.
Like it.
But again, I'm just, being super patient, super selective, in no rush to put risk on. So, I mean.
Gotcha. All right, so we got a couple other guys. Anyone else want to jump in? Chris, Lincoln, Eric?
I forgot to mention LAC. Let's see how you see that one, guys. LAC.
LAZ? With
CC.
Oh, C, LAC.
Lithium Americas. Yeah, nice cup and handle forming there. Just a cheap
Yeah.
name, so you just got to remember anything that's like a $2 range, you're risking 10%. So
Yeah.
this one's always really tough. Nice inside day if you want to go for like that momentum trade through, through like 2250, 2265 area with a stop under Friday's low. Just high probability of failure with a tight stop like that in this kind of market. But it could work. I mean, you're only risking $1 if you're putting it under Friday's low. You can look for that move to 25 and start taking profits, or 24, 25 and call it a day. But it's a nice macro setup. I just think it's tough because when they're so cheap, it's hard to get a good low risk opportunity.
Yeah. Also, another name that has a good weekly chart, it's Domo, DOMO, Domo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty nice too.
We traded that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah. So now it's setting up in the 58, 50, 86, about 60. Yeah, it has an inside week. So yeah, I was watching this 86.
Gotcha.
You need a verse 80 or you think just verse like 82?
Versus, you said, well, I want to buy this 86 against, perhaps it's the risk, it's way too long, because then it will be around 82.30s. So definitely it's $3 risk.
That's not too bad, but yeah, I mean, the real out is under 80. Like that's the last pivot, like the real pivot.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
see some support under Friday's low. So like that's kind of another one where you could either have like tiered stops or you have maybe half your position under Friday's low and then
Yeah.
with a core under 80 because that's like the real spot. So yeah, that's two spots to put a stop, and then you have that 50 MA resistance above. So if it can get through that level, that'd be a pretty nice move.
Yeah.
I'd rather risk like $2-3 in this than $2 in a $20.
Yeah, I'd much rather be in this trade than the previous one, the LAZ.
Yeah.
So we got a
Yeah,
few-
definitely perhaps a more like short-term trades or momentum trades, 1-2 days.
Mhm.
Yeah, with a tight stop and yeah, to have this kind of momentum push. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so anyone else? Chris, you always has some sneaky good trades. We hear from you. Same with Lincoln. You guys looking at anything?
I was looking last week at NBIX. I had a little bit 95 N, sorry, yeah. I had a IXX now. Let me put it on the chat now.
Yeah, type it out in the chat. It'd be good.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
And I had a little bit 95 versus 93, and Friday moved nice, and it closed above 100, 101. And I was looking now because I couldn't add, and I had just a small position. So I was wondering if I should now wait, like to hold 100. That is a big number, like a round number, to add to my position if I would like. Seems like in a weekly, it's been doing like a big triangle, like a macro.
What's your price in NBIX?
Sorry.
Are you?
Well, sorry, say again.
Okay.
Yeah, if you see a bigger, sorry, you can see a macro line. Like I have it like in a big triangle.
Yeah, where did you buy?
Well, I had 95 versus 93. I put first that day, last week. It wasn't Friday. It was last week. It was all the inside days. Somewhere there I have, but I couldn't. And now I was thinking if for my next, like I felt like I would like to add or something, I should wait.
Yeah, but now you'd be adding 5% higher. You'd be messing up your average price. I think right now your advantage is the fact that you're in at such a lower spot. It had this huge move. Now you have to let it play out, see what it does. So what I would do now is just chill, relax, and sit on your shares from 95. Keep the stop under support so you don't get shaken out, and just let it develop here. Maybe it'll form like a tight consolidation over the next few days, where then you could look to add through that 102, 103 area with a stop at maybe it form like I would like to see it form a support at 100. Then you could look to add, because if you just buy up here, now your average price is going to be 98, 97. Your stop is still under 93 because that's the only support area. And then you just have a higher probability of getting shaken out. So I would just kind of hang out with those, even if it's a small position, let it work. And then maybe later on, look for a pullback or a tight consolidation to add to it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just, thinking, okay, wait to hold 100, make sure that, like that resistance turns into a support, and hold, and then give me another type entry.
Yeah, because you got to remember, if it's coming into resistance, that most likely people are going to start selling there. So you don't want to be buying there. You don't want to be the dumb money trying to buy after the move already happened.
Yeah.
So,
I wanted to add through 98, but then it moved so fast on Friday, and I just
that's how they work, right? The best ones always do that. That's why it's
but
important to have like alerts and things like that. But it's all about, especially right now, I think even a small position in a good trade is a lot better than trying to put on a big position in like a volatile market. Because if this thing gaps down tomorrow back to your price at least,
Yeah.
you know, you're still at the advantage of having a small position. Now you might be able to buy more because you're back at your original price. So we'll see how it plays out over the next few days, I think.
Yeah, like you
Thank
see,
you.
there's been similar days, like I'm having circled here. You know, last November it had a big, solid breakout through this little base, and then 2 days later completely reversed it. And if you were trying to add up into here, you're just gonna mess up the trade where you see later in January, it has similar movement and continues higher, and that's obviously what you're leaning more towards happening. But just, I think, stick with what you have, keep that stop low a day for now, let it settle, because even under 100 isn't really that significant at this point. Because it's just still in this base, it really needs to get above this 104. So I think just like what Evan said, just stick with what you got. Don't try to like add more and mess up your plus basis just to, want to have more stop. Just stick with what you got.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Carlos, you snuck in here. Anything you're looking at this week?
You're muted, Carl. You're muted.
Yeah, hold on. Carl, you're muted.
Yeah, unmute yourself, Carl. There you go.
Trying not to look. Everything's signaling bearish conditions to me.
I hear
Okay, short and sweet. I like it.
you.
All right, guys, anyone else? We got to open in a few minutes. So anyone, any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
One last thing I'm looking at is just this macro wedge pattern in Twitter. I don't think it's ready yet, but it's bouncing off like major support. So it's like more of like a wedge. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So like huge macro wedge pattern. This weekly chart is really tightening up. It's been tightening up since February. So like all year, it's just been coiling. Eventually it's gonna form this inflection point and it's either gonna crash or fly. So keeping an eye on that one over the next few weeks.
That's good.
Yeah, and if you zoom out, you can see like the huge level from IPO highs in that like 70 area. So yeah, big monster pattern.
Like it. All right, guys, well, opens in a few minutes. So good luck this week. Any questions, obviously put them in the chat. If you come across any other great ideas, of course, more we can share, the better.
Hey, Ben,
All right.
it's Jay. This is Jason. I had a question for Heaven.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I know you were playing PLTR for a while, and I noticed that it set up a hammer candle at support. It looks like if that's that same support that it was when it had its last ER run. What do you think about? What do you think about that? Or I know it's been massive sell-offs for the past week or so.
I definitely I see where it's finding support. That's a great sign. It could be an area to start building position. I'm kind of hands off on this PLTR just because like I've been in and out of it a few times over the last few weeks. And like whenever that happens, I start to trade it poorly. So I just kind of want to step away from it, let it kind of clear out of this mess. And I really just want to look for that entry through 30 in time. So, but I definitely see the setup. Now you just want to see that strength kind of follow through and push it higher. But yeah, it's a solid, solid chart. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I think we wrapped it up, guys. Second week.
Sounds good. TGIM, let's go.
Let's
Good luck,
do it.
boys.
Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah.